Let's see what we got here. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Let's see what we got here. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Yeah. Where everybody at? Let me make sure this is right. All right. All right. All right. Check 1 2. Hello. Check 1 2. Bing bong. Let me check this out. Are we ain't in the building yet? Check 1 2. How do I sound? DJ Airman, how you doing, big bro? How do I sound? I'm checking to see how I sound. You know, I had problems yesterday. I sound loud and clear, DJ Airman. Nice to see you in the number tonight. Nice to see you in the number. Nice to see you in the number, family. Crenshaw! Hey, I was just trying to see if I could be heard. Sound good. All right, all right. Because listen, last night I ran into a problem. I mean, it was a problem for real. But what I found out is that I had to, 1 second. I had to get my what you call that I had to update my stuff. And the thing is, with these computers nowadays, you got to update your stuff, man, or your stuff ain't gonna work right. You know what I mean? Hey, Takaya. Hey, we gonna do it like right away. Hey. I sound all right though. I'm all right. Love me, fro. Is that how you say that? Love me, fro. Love me, fro. Is that how you say that? Love me, fro. I like it. Love me, fro. What that mean? That mean, that's right. Family, how y'all feel today, family? We gonna talk about it today, family. You know, I always love me, fro. That might be short from love me from a distance. You know what I'm talking about? You got to tell some people, love me from a distance. You know what I mean? You know how people good and crazy. That's right. Love me, fro. Love me from a distance. That's right. What's up, Demetrius? Listen, family, how y'all feel? Y'all hear about the Vlad demonstration? Let me move my light out the way. Anybody hear about the Vlad demonstration? What up, Yasmin? Listen, family, I take a different approach to this stuff. You know what I mean? I take listen, while the people is going in one direction, I go ahead, take a U-turn and go into another direction. I don't trust none of this stuff that I see on the internet. But I will tell you one thing, that when people start checking Vlad, they act like all of this stuff is new. They be acting like all of this stuff is new. And this stuff ain't new. How in the world is, listen, man, we gonna get with the show, family. We gonna get with the show, family. I got a nice show for you tonight. I think what I'm gonna be talking about tonight. What up, Steve Austin? Steve Austin, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now listen. I like to look at both sides of the spectrum. When we start talking about culture vultures, one of the things we have to acknowledge is who let the culture vultures in. That's what. Listen, if we ain't gonna look at the whole thing 360 degrees, then what we doing? We gotta look at the full circle. You know what I mean? But anyway, let me see what I got going on here. If we ain't gonna look at it 360, what we talking about? You feel me? Let me turn it up for y'all. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV.
I'ma be that boy you gon' remember.
I'm your host, Brother Talker, baby. Yes, I is.
Call my number. I be that boy you gon' remember.
I'm glad you came to join me tonight.
That boy you gon' remember, that's right.
Absolutely.
You gon' remember to Arca Bay front line till
come on, man.
If you a friend of the Moors, then you
let it rock.
Mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my
let it rock, fam.
Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back.
Let it rock.
On the mountains, Mississippi and Quebec.
Yeah.
Told you wasn't black. Proved it was straight fact. You tripping off trucks,
you should be tripping off that.
Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people taught European how to bathe. And looking at women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation.
Come on, man.
Bills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love.
They said bring in the horn.
Gucci, Kodak, Amigo.
They told me to bring in the horn.
For the woman, look like your mother. I guess they say it's all black with
bring it on.
The cover. Now cipher. I be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right.
Yeah.
I be that boy you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that boy you gon' remember.
How I sound?
I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I be that boy you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law
I guess I gotta get Orlando Brown.
This era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for them people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock the feds. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate. I want my town, my sheriff, my stores, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you killing, fighting, marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish World, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish World, come on and build it with me. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember.
I'm gripping tonight.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. Oh yeah. I be that more you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. That town. I be that more you gon' remember. To Arca Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York works. I be that more you gon' remember.
Come on, man, y'all gotta make my stuff go viral. Y'all gotta make my stuff
my number.
Y'all gotta make my stuff pop. Y'all gotta listen. Y'all gotta make my stuff pop. I think I got some of the best commentary on social media, on YouTube. Hold up. Let me get my mic right. I want to make sure y'all hear me good. How I sound? I sound all right? I sound all right? Am I good? I'm going to try not to yell too much. I think I got some of the best content on social media. I think I got some of the best commentary on social media. I mean, y'all got to help me go viral. Another thing, family, if you can, listen, I want to thank Big Ma for the Cash App yesterday. Got me some coffee this morning. Anybody want to support the Cash App, the Grand Chic, waking up early, getting some coffee after I'm doing this all night? Come on and hit me up, man. Hit me up. Coffee now is $2.30. And if it's the 7 cup at 7-Eleven, it's free. Help me get to my 7. That's a good grip. Help me get to my 7 cup. Everybody, help me get to my 7 cup. The 7 cup is free. Hey, do anybody drink 7-Eleven coffee? What type of coffee y'all like when y'all out? I like 7-Eleven. I'm trying to tell you, I like 7-Eleven. And maybe ironically, I like 7-Eleven because the Moors conquered Spain in 7-Eleven. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I like 7-Eleven. I remember my wife, she used to like Dunkin' Donuts. But I got the Dunkin' Donuts coffee, right? And I didn't realize that they got the unsweetened shot, and they got the sweetened shot that they call the swirl. So I'm clueless of this, I'm green as a blade of grass. I'm clueless. So my wife always get that coffee, and I'm getting used to it. So one day I let the coffee sit and chill, and I forgot it was there, came back the next day, and it was a big clunk of whatever in it. A big clunk of whatever. I'm like, what in the world was that? And so I kind of Googled it, and I found out that they got this swirl mixture thing that they put in their coffee. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, they got that swirl mixture thing in that demonstration, and I'm like, that's what the world is going on. So I'm like, I ain't putting that into my system. And so I went back to 7-Eleven because it ain't nothing but coffee. Anybody drink Dunkin' Donut coffee, if you're going to get some vanilla or some caramel, tell them give you the unsweetened, because whatever they put in that swirl, it be hard as a rock. Let it sit for a day or two. I'm going to tell you now one. I'm going to give you another one. What up, my out Egypt? I'm going to give you another one. Deronda Brown. I'm going to give you another one. Family, if you don't drink cow's milk or any cow milk, and you drink almond milk or oat milk. If you drink oat milk, listen now, it's a couple more extra dollars. I mean, drink the oat milk that has only milk, oats, and water. 2 ingredients. If it got some gum stuff in it, I'm trying to tell you, we got to do a health check. We got to do a health check on Moorish World TV. If you let that demonstration set aside, yep, it got a hunk of glob up in that demonstration too. They got a big hunk of glob up in there. When you ever get, I'm trying to tell you, family, good goodness of grace. Here go love me from afar. I drink black coffee, Grand Shake. I know y'all Moors got a problem with that thing black, but I drink black coffee, Grand Shake. Sound like Gino Jennings. Am I right? I drink black coffee. Am I right? Talk to him. Am I right? I drink black coffee, Grand Shake. I know that you are more and all that. Hey, read for me, son. Black coffee. I just come up with this stuff off the fly. Anybody know Gino Jennings? Hey, you. All right, read. The Lord says that when he comes back, he's going to crucify everybody. He's going to crucify you. And when he comes back, he's going to break your legs. He's going to break your legs. Then the Lord is always active against the unrighteous. He's active. I don't know. That's my boy Gino Jennings, man. Good goodness of grace. Gino, piece of work. I'm trying to tell you, I like these people, man. I love them. Great entertainment. Great entertainment, if you will. You know what I mean? I try to tell you, am I right? So anyway, family, on today's show, family, we're going to talk about something that, we should have, I don't mind addressing it, but family, let's keep it a stack, family. Let's keep it a whole stack. This show tonight is really dedicated to show you it's about putting our face in the mirror. Because one of the problems that we have, we hate to put our face in the mirror. So tonight, we're going to be talking about modern colonizers. And in fact, I think the best thing I can do to illustrate what I'm talking about is to define colonizer. Let me bring it up, and let me say the reason why I'm using this in tune with what people been talking about. Kendrick Lamar actually uses that in reference to Drake. He called him a colonizer. And I don't think that is quite accurate about Drake. I could care less too. At the same breath, I could care less. But when you're looking at somebody, I mean, it could possibly be true. But when you're looking at somebody like DJ Vlad, as well as Adam 22, when you're looking at people like that, and we think about the hip hop culture ideal, and now we look at what colonizer is. A country sends settlers to place and establish political control over it. Portugal was a major colonizer in both Brazil and parts of Africa. A plant or animal that establishes itself in an area. Oysters and barnacles tend to become the first colonizers of new spaces in the marine world. So when we're talking about a colonizer in this sense, I think what it would refer to is that one that comes from another culture and insert themselves into what we would say hip-hop culture and dominate it. And one of the reasons that they're able to dominate it is what they will call, quote-unquote, white privilege. In other words, they can walk through some doors that you may not be able to walk through. They will be able to acquire opportunity that you may not be able to acquire to get started. But that's only half of it. The other half of it is they need a product. The other half is they need a product. And in modern day times, these colonizers will have a product. And the product is us. Without the product, the colonizer fail. Without that, it doesn't work. So while we're calling out the colonizer and we're not calling out those who have themselves up for sale, that's one of the places that we need to address. One of the main things we need to be addressing is those who put themselves up for sale. See, I don't have a problem with Boosie. I don't have a problem with Whack 100. But what I do know is that they have circles around them that enable this type of behavior to happen, where it builds someone who doesn't have the best interest for the whole of your people. And no one is holding them accountable. No one, anybody say something to Boosie about him getting his paper for an interview with Vlad, Boosie would possibly lose his mind. Hey, look. You know what I mean? Long as he got my check. And I think that's one of the major problems. Everybody's keep addressing Vlad. All these years, they got Vlad walking around strapped because all of these people called him the Feds. All of these people have called him a snitch. All this been going on for a long time. But they never address those who are the actual content. Think about this for a second. When we talking about a culture vulture, a culture vulture cannot be successful without an audience. There's no way a culture vulture can be successful without being rubber stamped and allowed to do what they do. Family, do anybody have an idea what is Chinese music? Anybody know the name of Chinese music? Anybody know? Whatever the name of Chinese music is, could you imagine one of us trying to thrive, coming from America or coming from Africa or anywhere where we are, go into China and thrive in the popular music in China? You know good and well that would be a no-go. We the only people, us, Africans in America, the indigenous people of the world, we are the only people that would sit back and allow one to come in, do whatever they want to do, and then when they do something that is a little bit edgy or maybe disapprove of, then they want to start calling culture vultures and calling names and all of that stuff. But it wasn't that, because one of them views that got up into 1 million for the first time was most likely you that rubber stamped it. But lately, Vlad, he jumped out the window. Like a Miss Karen, he jumped out the window. And the funny part about this, like, come on, man, how do you creep into hip hop? How does this work? How does this work? How do you creep into hip hop as valid? How does this work? And I'm not saying that he's not talented. I'm not saying that he doesn't have an ability to spin records. I just never seen him spin a record. It's like DJ Academics. I've never seen these people spin records. Anybody ever seen that? What club they play in? I heard they do. Jazzy Jeff has a show that comes on during the week where he is spinning records. Somebody say, is that Vlad? Absolutely. So that's Vlad there. And this is Vlad with a hairpiece. Yeah, this is Vlad with a hairpiece. So yeah, that's Vlad. You got Vlad with the hairpiece and Vlad without the hairpiece. Mm-hmm. That's him. Somebody say, is that Vlad? Absolutely. And that's the thing about it. What up, Thurman? Yeah, that's him. You know, and the crazy thing about all of this is that we allow it. We got to be honest. We allow it. We allow it. Just like Paige said, some people calling the guy names have been watching him for years. I mean, all the people that go to him for interviews, Doggy Diamonds have been putting in work. Doggy Diamonds got a hood pass. He got a professional pass. Doggy Diamond's been doing this for quite some time. But everybody run to Vlad. And then they complain. Let me give you an example what I'm talking about. This is how crazy it is. I mean, this is how crazy it is. R.I.P. Young Dolph, right? R.I.P. Young Dolph. But look at this. Young Dolph was sent he passed for him now. Young Dolph was sent there at DJ Vlad, and website owner responded. It was after Vlad asked Boosie about Dolph turning down a $22 million record deal. As Dolph claimed a couple of months ago, Boosie said he was confused as to why Dolph, you see how they using Boosie to talk about Dolph, but Dolph, you will see, came at Vlad. It says, Boosie said he was confused as to why Dolph would turn down such lucrative deal. The interview must have rubbed Dolph the wrong way because he saw it and went after Vlad. Told Vlad to explicit, though, wrote Dolph. I hear it in his voice. He's still mad I never gave him an interview. F the 23 million. Actually, and this is Vlad responding, actually, you did give us an interview, he wrote. Check your YouTube channel and stop being so mad you're winning. So what Vlad is doing is he is a fire starter. I mean, he is a fire starter. However, when Dolph said he's mad because I didn't give him an interview, and then Vlad comes back, you did, and Vlad is actually right. See, this is the problem. And like I said, R.I.P. Dolph, one of the problems is that people will go to Vlad to get their stuff jump started for all intents and purposes. But at the end of the day, Vlad is going to double back. He going to double back. Did y'all hear the story what he said to the professor? Did y'all hear that? Y'all hear the story what he said to the professor? In fact, anybody know about the girl that, I mean, I know we kind of older now, I guess, but anybody know about her name is Saweetie? Anybody know about Saweetie? Y'all remember that song? That's my type. That's my type. That's my type. Real trashy, real nasty. I mean, common. Goodness gracious, a common hound she is when she talk that stuff. 6 feet. That's my type. That's my type. Anybody? Y'all are righteous. Y'all don't know about Saweetie. Anybody? I'm the only one know about Saweetie. She common some. I talk about trashy. I know about this stuff. I gotta listen to it so I know what's going on in the younger people's mind. You know what I'm talking about? Press 7. Y'all know about Saweetie? Yasmin said, nah, don't Google it, Yasmin. Don't Google it. Yasmin, don't you dare Google it. You be in the house and get yourself in trouble. They be popping all over the camera. I'm trying to tell you, oh my goodness. The things they say, whoa, it'll send you. I'm trying to tell you ain't gonna make it to paradise, listen to her. That's right. That's right. You going in purgatory. Saweetie, she says 6-figure N-word. That's my type. And she do this, that, and the third all night. I'm just telling you, I heard about it. But I'm telling you. Anyway, she was popping. She was popping. Don't you dare Google it, Yasmin. Yasmin, I'm not responsible for you falling off your dean. Don't you dare Google it. Family, tell Sister Yasmin, assalamu alaikum, and do not Google it. I'm not going to be responsible for you falling off your dean. You be in there dancing around the living room and all that kind of thing. You ain't going to blame me. Nobody. Jay Bizzle, I'm calling you tomorrow, buddy. I've been busy. Listen to that. 156 million views. You see this? 156 million views. Gino Jitters. That's right. Look at that. My type. It's called My Type. Oh my goodness. Please don't listen to that, Yasmin. Please don't listen to it. Oh my goodness. Jason Brown said, don't do it, sis. That's right. I'm trying to tell you, you're going to have to make a couple extra slots. I'm trying to tell you. You're going to have to go give some charity out. Listen to that. If you listen to Sweetie, that's right. You're going to have to go do some charity and make a couple extra slots. I'm trying to tell you, that thing foul. That thing good and foul. Good goodness and grace. Last mean, he said, let me be the judge of that. Anyway, so Vlad wanted to interview Sweetie. and he wanted to pay her $10K. Now, Vlad used to tell people he didn't pay for interviews. He wanted to pay her $10K. If Saweetie did Vlad interview, she would have easily done 10 times her first week sales, which was 2,000 copies. We actually reached out through one of our people and were told she won't do Vlad. Her loss. Now, let me get to the next part. He said she would have did 10 times her sale. And I think in here it says that 10K for Sweetie. He offers 10K. She won't do Vlad. This is her publicist, I think. Why? I literally only was given 12 minutes and they cut me off at 9. She doesn't speak on her personal life either. Vlad writes back, allegedly, whack. All right, pay close attention to this. This is the colonizer now. This is the colonizer. It said, blogs creating something around her. I don't feel bad. Can you send me her publicist's contact? Her publicist don't like Vlad. She told me she wouldn't ever have her artist do it. I'm sorry. It's a struggle when I'm trying to pitch you. Cool. I don't like them either. I'll choose violence. This is allegedly Vlad. I'll be posting the voicemail also. I'm honestly tired of these BS publicists hating on us. I'm going on the offensive moving forward. Now, this is supposedly, now, you know, recently he just did the same thing with supposedly a Princeton professor. That the moment that they didn't, yes, you know I be jamming to that song. Good is it crazy. You better go make a couple more slides. I'm trying to tell you, you know that thing ain't right. But so Vlad, he comes at the publicist. Allegedly, that's supposed to be Vlad saying that, you know what I mean, he gonna choose violence. And then, now that was in 2022 because he couldn't get the interview with Saweetie. And now in 2024, this here, the lady right there, is said to be a Princeton professor. And so it's said to be a Princeton professor. And so what would happen is that Vlad would chime in on the Kendrick Lamar. My bad. Wrong post. I'll get back to that in a minute. Vlad would chime in on the Kendrick Lamar. On the Kendrick Lamar and what's the name debate. I told you everybody's pushing it now. So let me see if I can find his comment real quick. But his comment, there it is. That's not it. His comment was something on the level. I think this is it right here. His comment. Okay, is this it? I got a lot of little comments here. Okay. Yeah, I got a bunch of little comments where Vlad. One second. He speaks on Kendrick, and let me just break it down. He says that, you know, Kendrick needs to his beats wasn't engineered or something like that. Something that he said. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. I might have saved it in the wrong place. But his beats ain't engineered. And so the professor comes back and say it's not your business, basically. You know what I mean? Saying it's not your business. And the next thing that Vlad does is says he tells her that he's going to call Princeton. You know what I mean? And in this tweet right here, It says, Dragon Speak said, this man is pathetic. For real. He deleted tweets, tags Princeton multiple times like we all ain't see that he did. She said he went and contacted her family. Like, huh? That's weird. And last but not least, on the same post, he body shamed the sister. Somebody say, pack him up. You follow me? So at the end of the day, only thing I'm pointing out is that this stuff is not new. Vlad been doing this. I told you in 2022 he did it. And if I look if I look back further, I probably would have found much more. You know what I mean? And then he come back and try to clear the air. Since it's Monday, let me clear the air and state that I never had any intention of filing a complaint to Princeton for the former professor Morgan Jenkins, saying that white people aren't allowed to comment on Kendrick Lamar's music. She trolled me and I trolled back. At the end of the day, it created interesting conversation about race relations in America, and so he tried to double back. You follow me? He tried to double back and claim that, well, I wasn't going to call Princeton and try to get her to lose her job. So Crip said, who lost you, Crip? Who lost you? So the story is, let me bring it all around, because if Crip say I lost him, I want to make sure everybody get it. The story is that Vlad commented on Kendrick Lamar. The Princeton professor says that it's not his business to be commenting, that it's black business. Vlad comes back and say, oh, you a Princeton professor? I'm going to make a call to Princeton. You know, that you are using your platform as a professor, pushing this racial divide. I guess, I mean, he didn't say that, but I guess that's the notion. And so everybody jumped on the post and attacked Vlad, saying, oh, you doing a Karen now. You want to run and try to get her to lose her job. Vlad came back and say, well, you know, that's not the case. I trolled her like she trolled me. She came back and said, oh, no. He tagged all the Princeton professors or her colleagues or her superiors in the post to try to show Princeton that she was showing racial tension towards him as it relates to his comment to Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. You see? So he had tried. So, and then he came back and say he didn't do it. So happened, the professor mentioned that her contract was already gone from working at Princeton. So even when he tagged the people, it could not do anything anyway. So she went on and got busy on him. You know what I'm saying? She went on and got busy on him. So I'm going to read some of these comments. This how people getting at Vlad. What are you talking? You people are always in our conversation. You're just another pink colonizer. Shut up, Patrick. And this is what they saying to Vlad. But I got something to say on the flip side of that when I read some of these comments. So these are the comments here. It says, the Vlad comment is, Kendrick, not like us, needed better mix. It takes away from the songs. This is, quote unquote, black folk affair. The thing is that, why? The whole thing in a nutshell is, why are people so protective over? I think people just say you don't like Vlad. Because how is people so protective over an art form that was created by us, but is not controlled or owned by us? And there is no Vlad without a product. And the product is the interviewee. That's the product. So the whole thing in a nutshell, people should be talking to the people that go to sit down with Vlad at the end of the day. I mean, everybody loved Michael Blackston, but people should be talking to him. That's who we need to be talking to. Vlad is only the facilitator of a product. He's only the facilitator of the product. The product have to stop being the product for real change to happen. As long as the product is going to sell themselves as the product, it's still gonna remain the same way. Let me see. Alyssa Kelly said, let me make it see that. She said, black people are getting tired, sick and tired of such and such. She said, I know I am. I understand. But if Alyssa Kelly, if you're getting tired of Europeans, right? A European, and this is my argument, and this has always been my argument about us. This has always been my argument about us. It's okay to check the colonizer. It's okay to check the European. But when are people going to check us? When are we going to check us? You know, it took Godfrey and my big bro, Lord Jamal, to say, man, listen, man, I'm not playing this game. I ain't taking no check for you to try to manipulate, twist the conversation, and then turn it back on us. So, guess what? They sacrificed a check, but they got out of there. See, how many people are ready to sacrifice the check for the greater good? When our people are ready to sacrifice the check and not be the product, then things will change. But as long as they're a product, see, because we already know hip hop right now, the greatest consumer of hip hop right now, is not you. The greatest consumer of hip hop right now is the world at large. Any and everybody. It's not just you. So the product have to stop. The only way it's going to stop if those who go there to get that check say, you know what, we're going to Doggy Diamonds. You know what, we're going to Gillian Wallow. You know what, we're going to Drink Champs. You know what? That's the only way it's going to stop. Other than that, it's not going to stop. So all the crying in the world, calling Vlad colonizer, calling him this, that, and the third. Look at this. Juvenile calls, this is an old interview. Juvenile calls Young Buck a B in a leaked Vlad TV interview. How did it leak? How did it leak? He said, hold up. Me, love me, Fro say, bro, no matter what we do, they coming for it. I understand that. And they supposed to come for it. Let me tell you what I mean by that. This world is predicated upon survival of the fittest. And in order to survive in the animal kingdom, work with me now, the sick are killed off by the strong, and the strong can get away and survive so they can perpetuate the gene pool. Well, in human being culture, it's the same way. It's just intellectualized survival of the fittest. The European has found a way to bait switch, quick think, be witty, put themselves to the front, and they open doors for each other every way they can to make sure that their numbers in the control room supersede your numbers. The only thing that can change that, is the product must stop being the product. For Europeans, for colonizers, for the oppressor. You must stop being the product. Now, when we start talking like this, it seemed like some black power rhetoric or some religious rhetoric, but no, take religion, take social advancement all out the equation and just think about it on the simplest form. There is no Vlad without you, the product. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. There is no Adam 22. There is none of that. How do someone come from the Ukraine and able to slide all the way in and become some sort of DJ that I never heard of? Has anybody ever heard him DJ? Anybody? I'm pretty sure some true hip-hop heads had to. I just never heard him DJ. Never. When I think of a DJ, I'm thinking of Jam Master Jay. When I'm thinking of a DJ, I'm thinking of Jazzy Jeff. When I'm thinking of a DJ, I'm thinking of real DJs. Funk Master Flex. I'm thinking about real DJs. I've never seen him DJ. But he goes by the name, and I hear that he can some kind of way. But how do you go? And the brother said mixtapes. How do you go from mixtapes from the Ukraine to being a muscle on internet platforms and representation of hip hop? The only way that happens is because of us. There is no other way that happens. DJ Premier. There you go. Those are DJs. There's no other way that happens. You know what I mean? There is no other way that happens. But hey, it is what it is. DJ Academics, absolutely. DJ Academics. What he DJ? Mustafa El Amin. What he DJ? What does he DJ? Unbelievable. This is what the professor says. The professor says this. You tagged Princeton multiple times. Just admit she hurt your feelings. And you retaliated. Well, this is a comment. And you retaliated by reacting like an angry, bitter white man and proving her point on why white people need to stay out of black businesses. You proved why you don't belong here. Go critique and interview country artists, music that's more so up your alley. Anyways, now take this comment right here. Somebody saying, go interview country artists. What about when the Europeans say Beyonce is a culture vulture of country music? And then one will come back and say, well, we created country. Well, not the country that we see today. See, if we're going to be honest, we got to play it straight down the middle. The country music we hear today is not the country music created. It's just like the rock and roll that we created is not the rock and roll of Leonard Skinner. It's not the rock and roll of Leonard Skinner. So when I see somebody sounding like AC/DC, Leonard Skinner, you know them 80s with the long hair and all. You ever see them brothers try to act like they was rock and roll? You know what I mean? They straight and perm their hair out, put a guitar and start going all crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So at the end of the day, one will call them culture vultures. because the style in which they demonstrate, we ain't bring it like that. I'm just saying this. We can't keep getting mad at the facilitator. At some point, we got to take responsibility. Check Adam 22. Anybody familiar with Adam 22? Anybody? Anybody familiar with Adam 22? Adam 22 allowed his wife. You hear what I say? Adam 22 allowed his wife. And I ain't going to say allowed his wife because you can't allow nobody to do nothing. But Adam 22 wife was having a sexual encounter while he was there practically filming it for views. And I'm just saying, then you got people that go on there and act as if it's okay. No, it's not okay, because you're rubber stamping the behavior that comes with it. You're rubber stamping the energy. So when you got my brother Tazariak on there, and you got Whack on there, and you got Moist on there, it makes you wonder who all of these people are, because it is alleged that Adam 22 is them people. It's been research that I've done. It's been research on the internet that Adam 22 is them people. You follow what I'm saying? But guess what? No one cares. And then when the young artist goes on there, no one schools the young artist. When the young striving artist trying to get some publication and publicity, nobody tell the young artist, don't go on there. This is a skateboarder. How do a skateboarder become a top blogger for hip hop? Our type of hip hop, not even the punk rock type hip hop thing. Our hip hop, and he's bringing all of the gangster vibration young brothers on there to tell on themselves. How does that work? That nobody schools him. This is Adam and his father. And if you don't know the story behind Adam and his father, here is the story right here. Adam 22 father, Philip Grandmason, was friends with Bill Clinton. His dad got arrested for using their position in local politics to secure 6 million contracts for his friends. He did 1.5 years in jail for it and received a presidential pardon from Clinton in 2000. Adam Uncle Joseph Grandmason was the DNC chair. He's friends with the Rockefellers. There's even a video of the Rockefeller visiting Joseph's house in New Hampshire in 1991. There's a little kid in the video, possibly Adam. He's from a rich and highly politically connected family. It's not a coincidence. Him and his weird channel blew up out of nowhere. What Adam channel does, and quite a few other, Adam and Vlad are in the same box, if you ask me. What they do is they bring on entertainers, rappers in particular, that possibly have been a part of some criminal activity, and they get them to talk. That ain't all they do. They mix it up with other stuff too now. They get them to talk, and the intel is now on the record and for the record. So it's not strange. It's not strange at all when people, when you would look at things like the Fed and informants and all of that type of thing. It's not strange when you see a Moist Lips right there. Remember, Moist Lips was on Vlad for a minute until Moist Lips wanted to get tough with Tommy, set up by Vlad. Vlad is allegedly them peoples. Adam 22 is allegedly them peoples. And Moist Lips is allegedly them peoples. Go figure. Go figure. Go figure. Why is it that all the people that are considered to be possibly working for them folks as intel gatherers always seem to flock in the same circles? When a person channel is dying, the first thing they do, they run to one of these platforms to resuscitate them. I don't think people pay that much close attention. I do. I do. Whenever these people that are suspected to be working for them people, when their influence begin to dwindle, they will pop up and go on a social media tour. Absolutely. So at the end of the day, look. Blaming, what up, Arrington? Blaming Vlad and Adam 22, it doesn't happen without that. This doesn't happen. This does not happen without that. It don't happen. Like how it just behooves me that our people fall for the okie doke. Like it's like it just blows my mind that how we fall for the okie doke. It really does. It really does. You know what I mean? It really does. Like even when we look at things like even when we look at things like Vlad, not Vlad, I'm sorry, Adam 22 being accused of being with the young girl. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember that? They gave him a pass. And where did he go to clean it up at? Where did he go to clean it up? Here's the accusation. She was letting me touch her all over and was making out with me the whole time, but she didn't seem like she was really enjoying it all that much. Graham Mason wrote about Jane in the 1,800-word post. How much a woman enjoys sensual activity is usually not highly correlated to how much fun I'm having, though. So I didn't give it much thought. This was supposed to be an underage person. This is supposed to be an underage person, allegedly, right? And where did he go to try to fix his image up when this happened? The girl says, I was terrified and froze when he had blank with my basically lifeless body. It was said that she was given something to knock her halfway out. I was too afraid to fight back and feared that he would hurt me, so I just laid there in terror. This is the alleged statement. I've done a show on this before. I just remember staring out the window and praying it would be over soon. He went to Vlad. Now this is not. I superimpose the confession or the complaint on the screen with his Vlad interview. But when he went to clean his name up, he went to Vlad. He went to Vlad. And that's what they do. She went on. Eventually he stopped. I changed and immediately left. I remember waiting in the subway sobbing, thinking I should have fought back. I should have gotten out of there. I felt guilty, violated, and scared. This was supposed to be allegedly an underage girl who was allegedly drugged and taken advantage of. Now, for those who follow and know, that's in the industry, that know about this, nobody never checked this guy. In fact, many of them went on there after this allegation. Nobody never was it going to be followed up on? Was there going to be some type of justice that would happen? Nobody said that. After he went to Vlad and tried to clear his name up, he laid back for a minute. Then the next thing you know, he just resurfaced. And not that he went away. What I mean is he took a little break. And then the next thing you know, back to business as usual. And then big names who are, I don't know, why would you have to go there for recognition and you're already a name? They begin to bring their brand there. They begin to bring their brand there, and their brand is what built these channels. So you cannot. Thank you, Universal Tribulation. I enjoy your show, GS. Peace to the critical thinkers. Absolutely. They brought their brand to these people. But now, so the point is, fam, can you imagine Dougie Fresh in his prime being interviewed by a weird guy like this? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Jada Kiss. Can you imagine? Can you imagine X? See what I'm saying? Yo, you gotta fix your eyes, boy. You gotta fix your eyes. Hey, dog. You gotta get fix your eyes. Hey! Fix your eyes. You looking crazy. Fix your eyes. You look crazy. Lord, give me a sign. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Rakim sitting next to this? Extorting culture. These culture vultures is the only ones that gets a pass. I don't get a pass. I don't get a pass. If I critique somebody, I don't get a pass from us. I don't get a pass. How? And them these pro-black spaces, they say all the time how much they're for people, FBA, they for this and for that. But when it gets heavy, the first place they run is to the colonizer. It must be nice for other groups of people to say, you know what? My money is funny, my change is strange. I got some talent, guess what? The blacks, quote unquote, they won't say nothing. I will go and set up shop. I will do interviews, and guess what? I will ride off into the sunset, and the blacks will not do nothing. They're used to being taken advantage of. They got Korean people in their neighborhood taking advantage of them. I mean, I like the Korean people. Let me tell you something now. Here in Baltimore, when they first came, yeah, they was being culture vultures. But guess what they doing now? The Koreans here in Baltimore actually have a staff of us working. So they good. They got a staff of us working. And, hey, at one time, they followed you around the store. They did all that. So I don't have no problem with that. You know what I mean? If you're going to give someone an opportunity that probably wouldn't get the opportunity otherwise, yeah, you know what I mean? I rock with you. I don't care where you're from. I rock with you. You know what I'm saying? But for those who give an opportunity because they're opportunists, now that's a problem. That's a problem. And we looking at Vlad and we looking at 22. We looking at opportunists. We're looking at opportunists. They're looking at a situation where as though they can slither their way in. Like, you cannot feed the snake and think that the snake is not going to bite you one day. They feeding the snake. Boosie feeds this snake. And so a OG supposed to have a talk with Boosie. A brother supposed to have a talk with Boosie. See, a person like Boosie could actually bring someone out of his circle and say, create your own platform, and I will bring my commentary to your platform. Let's leave this alone. But we sometimes, I guess, we don't think like that. For whatever reason, we don't think like that, you know? And so now you got people mad. You got people mad at one that is jumping on culture because there is no one to speak against them or to, as we can say, that will stop them. Ain't nobody gonna stop them. Why? Who gonna stop them? Anybody? Who gonna stop them? Ain't nobody gonna stop them. Ain't nobody gonna stop. So what difference does it make? They can do what they want to do. Ain't nobody. What I mean by stop them, ain't nobody going, like, it doesn't take no threat or nothing like that. Like, man, I'm not working with you. Yes, the contracts won't allow it. That's what they shouldn't even get in the contract. Shouldn't even get in the contract. No way, no how should they be getting in the contract in a situation like this. I mean, and then come back on the back end and can say and disrespect anybody. Can you imagine this? Look at this. Can say anything to anybody at any given moment. And I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, family, listen, let me get on my soapbox now. At the end of the day, family, man, listen, we got a long way to go. Many people do not have the financial know-how to maintain some sort of stability where they're comfortable with. Me, I can live off pennies. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, but I dedicate a lot of what I am afforded by those who have assisted and those who have reached out to help. I dedicated that a lot to help people, to build things, to try to do examples of what need to be built. You know what I mean? Sometimes they fly back into my face. But nevertheless, I don't need much. And the human beings really don't need much. Human beings don't really need much. A lot of what we have is extra. But some people love more, and more. And as long as we got people that's loving more, that need more than extra, you're going to have those being the product for somebody else. Because that's the problem. The problem is not the culture vulture. The problem is the product. That's the whole problem. I know people don't like me saying that because we want to be able to vent at the one who came in and misappropriated it. But who allowed them in? That's all my concern is. That's my gospel. That's it. That's the gospel. Who let them in? If you let them in, or if you are watching that mess, if you are one of the numbers, can't be mad. I mean, can't be mad. Somebody say, sounds like that girl that flew to see Puffy. Listen, at the end of the day, both sides need to be held accountable. We as a group of people, we always want to hold the European or the colonizer accountable. What about us? Both sides should be held accountable. Do you know? Because Vlad ain't going nowhere. 22 ain't going nowhere. But what could happen is, like someone said, he should go into country music. Maybe he got to change his content because we ain't going for it no more. That just makes sense. Because the moment that you get mad, you're going to try to get somebody out of their job. The moment that you disagree, you're going to try to get somebody locked up. The moment that you are put in a position to help the people to secure a conviction, you bring them on your show. And we just sitting there eating it up. Not me. I've been years ago. I did one thing about me, and this is Vlad just started showing his face. One thing about me, I don't like people that hide their faces. You know what I mean? I really don't, because I'm here every day or whenever I go live and I'm showing my face. And if one is doing an interview and not showing their face, and you got people that have been locked up a few times, he show his face now, but I'm saying back when I stopped watching it, I watched a few interviews and I'm like, why is this guy not showing his face? I didn't like that at all. It didn't feel right to me. So I was like, man, nah, I'm gonna pass on that one. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like 1 and 1 make 2, that, okay, if someone was to get locked up, like the big bro from Philly end up getting locked up, then hey, at that point, who knows what he looked like? You have to research and dig to see who he looked like. People started showing his picture, and then he started doing more interviews and being more in front of people's cameras. But when he first started, man, nobody knew what he looked like. We knew he was a European, but nobody knew what he looked like. But it came to a head. It's just like when researching Moorish Mouth. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew his real name. People suspected until we figured it out. Then the next thing you know, Moorish Mouth bring his father on his thing and said, this my dad. Yeah. But he been hiding his dad from the public for the last 20 years. And at least 10 in the internet era. But now that everybody knows, now you got to bring it out. You don't have no choice now. And that's the same thing with Vlad. The only reason he's in front of a camera now is because people know what he looks like now. But guess what? They say keep that thing that go bang bang on him, because he already knows that he has made himself a target by putting people in compromising situations by the way of interviews. Absolutely. But anyway, family, let's stop accusing the culture vulture all the time. That's what the culture vulture do. That's what he's supposed to do. And when I say that's what he's supposed to do, again, it's survival of the fittest. The culture vulture gonna do what the culture vulture do. You know what I'm saying? Family, if you are in the Baltimore area, family, let me tell you now, if you are in the Baltimore area, that means DC, Virginia, wherever you at, family, I'm going to be doing a lecture. I might do a couple songs too. I'm going to be doing a lecture here in Baltimore on June the 8th. Unveiling Islam, African Tradition for Pan-African Empowerment. And if you don't understand what Pan-Africanism is not what you see on the internet. Pan-Africanism is a concept where we are all one people, and the only way that we can solve this problem is the people must come together. And when I say the people must come together, I speak of like-minded people. Like-minded people from different sectors of our community, of our diaspora. That like-minded people must come together in order to solve this problem. Without us coming together, the problem don't get solved. Everybody ain't coming together. Let me underscore that. No. Everybody ain't coming together. Some people are still trying to get their reparations by grifting. Some people are trying to get their reparations by ripping people off. Some people are just trying to swindle. That's all they know. But if we want to get some leadway towards us being independent, us creating our own condition, then at some point, like-minded people have to come together. And it's not consistent with Islam as we know it. It's going to be consistent with a universal principle. If Islam means peace, we must practice the principle of peace, not the Islamic custom of peace. The principle of peace. We must practice that. We must practice that. Whether you are Muslim or not, the Muslim only means one who submits their will to the will of God. In other words, you are trying to align your energy with the universal energy. That's the principle, that you're trying to align yourself with nature. You're trying to have yourself in balance. That's called mayat. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll be teaching the universal principle. I'll be unveiling the universal principle that we all strive for. Whether we call ourselves Hebrew 1 minute, Moor 1 minute, Islam, or whatever we call ourselves, we all striving to be in balance. And if we are striving to be in balance, then we can strive together and we can work together and we can move forward and to get to the place where we need to go. This is going to be a very, very powerful lecture. It's going to be some history. It's going to show that back when we were motivated, back when we were conquerors, back when we were moving towards the utopia, and I ain't saying all of us, so don't take it like that. There was a principle that we stuck to. There was a principle that we that we manifested, and that was the driving force for our success. Somewhere along the way, we dropped the ball, and so I want to enlighten people on where we dropped the ball, how we pick the ball back up, and how we take it into the end zone. And that's what I'll be talking about. You know what I mean? I'll have probably about 100 slides. I'm going to be going through them. I'm going to show you the history. I'm going to show you stuff. I'm going to show things that people are not used to seeing. You know what I mean? I'm going to underscore the journey of us as a people and our greatness from the universal perspective. When I say unveiling Islam, I'm talking about a universal principle. I'm talking about where you can see it in ancient Kemet, where you can see it with the Yoruba, where you can see it in the Ashanti, where you can see it all around our people existence, that you can see it. And this is why the North Africans was able to adopt the philosophy of East Africa, which they call the Middle East, where they ain't no more than East Africa. The European put the demarcation line there, renamed it, sold it back to us as the Middle East. How do you get a Middle East? No such thing. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to conclude, of where we need to go from here. How do we do it? How do we do it? That's 5525 Harford Road. How do we do it? How do we go from a conversation to an actual, practical building of a community, economic structure, our own ecosystem as it relates to economy, as it relates to education? How do we go from a conversation here to actually doing it as other groups of people have done it? That is the question. That's the question that needs to be answered, because we've been talking way too long. We got all of these groups. I say it and I'll say it again. We got all of these groups. Some say expand on that Middle East, fam. Let me see if I can pull something up. Yeah, I got a few more. I got about 15 minutes. Somebody say expand on the Middle East. I'm about to bring you up something. Right now. All right. So at one time, I'll show you right there. Give me 1 second. Because I'm glad that you asked. So this term, the Middle East, is fairly a new term. Let me pull this up for you. Somebody want me to teach a little something. All right. All right. Hold up. I'm gonna pull this up to you. So this would be considered the Middle East. 1 second. Let me save it. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm that good. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm doing this on the fly. Anyway, this area they were named the Middle East. You see this? You notice that it extends into Africa. You notice that? It extends into Egypt. How do the Middle East extends into Egypt? This is what I'm talking about, that this is East Africa. All right? Before the colonizing European came, there were no lines dividing these lands that we call Arabia, Ethiopia, Egypt, etc., etc. What do I mean by that? Let me give it to you in the most simplest form. These imaginary lines was broken up by Europeans for the purpose of divide and conquer. And shout out to our intelligent audience, Mustafa El Amin, who says that let's not forget the man-made Suez Canal. Let's not forget the man-made Suez Canal. So where did it come from? The British named it the Middle East. It was a part of a plot of divide and conquer. Let me see if I can pull up something real quick just for a second. I got you something right here. And I'm just freestyling right now. But I teach at least 3 times a week, so I'll be teaching tomorrow in the temple. So it's not nothing. It's not a big deal. But let me I'm just giving you a brief. I'm not going too deep right now because it's just on the fly. But let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. I think this is a good example here. The Middle Eastern region was particularly important to the British during this period. We're talking about 1902. In the history, as it served as a buffer region in the defense of the British interests in India. Y'all see that? It's a buffer region. Remember, India is the place that had all the spices. India was the spice place where the whole world would go to get spices from. And they saying that they categorically use that as a buffer, right? It says the term made sense when they were first colonized, and they helped designated locations from a Eurocentric perspective. You can Google this stuff. I just did a quick Google. I know it because I've studied it, right? The term Middle East then evolved to become common verbal currency in 1902 when Alfred Thayer Mahan, a USA naval officer and historian, used the term in an article to describe the land between Arabia and India. After the collapse of the Ottoman Empire as a result of World War I and other global geopolitical events, the term Middle East became established, widely used by people both within and outside the region. Many argue, however, that since the term is Eurocentric and only valid from a Western perspective, you hear what I say? I'm going to be talking about this in my lecture. Only valid from a Western perspective. It should be replaced with a term that's more appropriate. For example, some argue it should be replaced with West Asia. But in times of our ancestors, that would be no more than East Africa. When the caravans left from North Africa at the tip of Africa, which would be Libya, Morocco, Mauritania, and all of these areas, when they left and they went on these caravans to go and get spices, they was headed to east. They was headed east. When Mansa Musa went, he went to east. And so it was an unwritten thing that was known. When I mean unwritten, a lot of old tradition was passed down during those times, but they would consider that East Africa. You feel what I'm saying? And when they went and trade there, many of the indigenous people of East Africa, what we know as Arabia today, look like us for all intents and purposes. And these people had a science that we know as Islam, but it's not like the customary Islam that we see today. A lot of the Islam that we see today is more of a Christian type vibration-based Islam, which what I'm saying is it's more cultural and more customs as opposed to the essence of the spirit of the thought of what was being taught during the time that its inception with Prophet Muhammad. So it's a bit different, and it can be proven. And it will be proven. But the whole thing is, when we look at history so we can figure out where we went wrong and what we can do better and how we can overcome that which we're facing today. Many of us have gotten off the path of the genuine essence of what it is to be spiritual. And we let people take our religious criteria, adulterate it, flip it, remix it, sell it back to us, and then we say we don't believe in religion. Religion is only established for you to remind you of something, to remind you of where you're weak at so you can fix it, to remind you that you are having a God experience and that there is a tug of war with your lower vibration that you must overcome. True religion reminds you of that. Once you can walk through the door of true religion, then you can get through the elevation of spirituality. Religion is a doorway to spirituality. You don't have one without the other. You can't let Europeans and other groups of people adulterate your sciences, your customs, your culture, manipulate them, sell them back to you worthless, and you think you have religion. No. True religion is like this. When you go to church and you say you're going to baptize your baby, or you're going to get baptized. This is true religion. The baptism is after you understand what it actually means. So in true religion, baptism is the purification of the soul. In other words, in the words that Jesus would say, that you must be born again. In the most simplest form, you must wipe the slate clean, and you must not go back to the dirt that you just wiped off the slate, right? And you must forever practice the discipline to resist the urge to go back to the dirt that you just wiped off the slate. And the more that you practice the discipline, the stronger you become, and the more enlightened you become, and the more that you can think into existence that is for your benefit. See, enlightenment is for your benefit, because when your mind is clean, now you can manifest the thoughts that is for your benefit into reality. A dirty mind cannot manifest these things. So that's the purpose of true religion, to remind you, as a reminder. As a reminder, that's it. Now, when you can begin to think things into existence for the betterment of you, for the betterment of your community, for the betterment of your family, and now you have reached the level of spirituality. But religion is the doorway. So now you understand what the baptism is all about, the cleansing is all about. Now a rite symbolic is introduced. A ritual symbolic is introduced. A ritual symbolic is introduced. So the ritual is to dip somebody in water. But the water comes after you understand the inner cleansing, not before. Not before. You have to understand the inner cleansing before you go dipping in the trough of water and believe that you filled with the Holy Ghost. You got to clean the inside first. That's true religion. And in true religion, you will be explained that by someone who is qualified. Anything that we do on the outside is only a symbolism of what we're supposed to be doing inside. If person making salat, prostrating 5 times a day, salat only means prayer. If you don't understand that you should stop at least 3 times a day at minimum and take in life, take it all in, feel your existence, appreciate your existence, honor your existence. This is a fervent prayer. When you can appreciate your existence, you can honor your existence, and you can impart that appreciation to your brother man or your sister woman. When you can look them in the face and you can see the image of God in them and you can appreciate that. If we can stop 3 times a day at minimum and really appreciate the honor of our existence, and what I mean the honor of our existence is that we got a chance to really push to unfold into our infinite self, where we can be the sole controller of our universe, where we are not looking without for a savior, where we go within, and that which we need, as a man thinketh, as a woman thinketh, so is he or she, where we can think into existence the things that we need for our success and our peace and prosperity. That's religion moving towards spirituality. The religion element keeps you reminded, constant, into the discipline. Now, if someone choose to call religion messing with little boys like the Catholic Church, we know that's not religion. If someone choose to say, oh, I don't do religion, that's because they have sold you back. Our forefathers created religious systems. Europeans ain't create no religious systems. They didn't create anything like that. We created that. We created that from our genius. We created that from our studies. We created that. Europeans ain't create no religious system. How are we going to give them the benefit to say that, oh, I don't do religion because when some European has tried to flip and sell back to us, they didn't create no system. They took our system, dirtied it up, sold it back to you, and now you say you don't. No. Just get back to the original system. That's all you got to do. And when you understand that God is one, Allah is one, the universal creator is one, that nature is one, then you stop looking for that which is divides in Ifa and Allah or Islam. You look at those things that have common ground because it comes from the same source. There's different languages, there's different cultures, and there are different traditions, but principally, it's the same exact thing. Principally, it's the same exact thing. Anytime there's something different as it relates to culture, custom, religion, and spirituality with our people, somebody manipulated us. Somebody manipulated us. Whether it's the pale Arab or whether it's the Catholicism, somebody manipulated us. We got to get back to the point where we see the ideal as one, no matter which part of the diaspora it's come from. We got to find the oneness of it. And then when we can see the oneness, we can discover those who are not living in the oneness and get them gone. And get them gone. Get them out the way. But if we don't see, if we living in the division without the principle, there's no way that we can discover one that is against what we're trying to do. And I'm talking about elevating into our God self. These terms that we use as God, that we use as a law, as we use as the creator, these are placeholders for us to categorically understand nature. There is no God without your rubber stamp. I want to say this again because people, I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. Without your understanding, your ideal, there is no God. You must comprehend and express God for God to be real. Without your expression of God, there's nothing to it. That doesn't mean that God don't exist. That means that you must, or somebody must, express it or acknowledge it. You have to be able to acknowledge it for it to be real. If you cannot express it, it's not real. If you cannot acknowledge it, it's not real. This is why people don't believe in God no more, because they don't know how to express their divine self. They don't know how to acknowledge divinity around them. Therefore, they don't believe. But when you can express your divine self, you know it's real. Now, people might interpret it in different ways. People might understand it in different variables. But nevertheless, when you can express your divine self, which means you can think things into existence, you know God is real. Let me get off my soapbox. So, family, we need more faith in ourself, our divine self, than we have in things outside of ourselves. There is no God that appeared through the spook of the clouds and ushered us from billions of years into 2024. It's all in our DNA. It's all in our DNA. We are the Savior we're looking for. We are the revolution that we're looking for. We are the Mahdi that we're looking for. We are all them people looking for somebody. We are it. We are it. Days of yesterday, angels came to Muhammad. Angels came, whether you believe in religion or not, just think of this concept. Angels came to Lot. Angels came to Mary, but the baby Jesus. Family, in this day and time, you have to see yourself as the angel, and the revelation is coming through you. Now it's time for you to see that the revelation is coming through you. If you don't see that the revelation is coming through you, you're going backwards. See, at one time, they put a lamb and burnt the lamb. At one time, Abraham was going to sacrifice his son, a human being. And then next, they put a lamb on it and say it brought a fulfillment to heaven, and God was pleased. And then Jesus come along, he becomes the Lamb of God. All symbolism. And then you got Muhammad, the original symbol of Islam was not a star and a crescent, it was a sword, the sword of justice. In other words, we got to separate the weak from the strong, the lambs from the goats, and then on the flip side of that, we got to separate the real from the fake, the wheat from the chaff. And the wheat got to do its part, and the shaft got to do its part. It was the sword. And in this day and time, you are the one that you're waiting for. You are the one that you're waiting for. You just got to wake up and be a critical thinker. And this is why I do these shows. You have to just wake up. You the one. You're looking out there. You're looking to the clouds. You're praying. You the one. It's in you. You are the oracle. With your mouth, God gonna speak. Just gotta clean up. That's all we gotta do. And let me get off my soapbox, family. I gotta get out of it. It's 12:01 on the East Coast. It's 12:01 on the East Coast, family. I hope I see y'all on the live on June the 8th, if we're able to do some live. If not, if you're in the area, Virginia, D.C., wherever you at, family, come out and shake my hand. Talk to me. You know what I mean? I want to be your friend. Come talk to me, family. This is the first demonstration that I've done since COVID, but it won't be the last. I look forward to, it's a Saturday. Put the family in the car. Come on through. If you're locally, if you're not, TNAT will be airing it afterwards. I will hopefully air a little bit of it and then send y'all to TNAT channel. But whatever the case may be, I see a Doc in the bill. Doc said, you are the chosen one. That's right. We are the chosen one. So, family, I'm just looking forward to a beautiful spring into the summer. And we're going to turn up into the public like we used to before COVID. I don't know why it took so long, but, hey, we here now. I mean, sounds good, GS, but I got to keep it 5 times a day. Yeah, you can keep 5 times a day, do 10 times if you can, but I tell people to start with a minimum. Start with a minimum. You know what I'm saying? We got to start somewhere, man. See, I don't like to burden people in the beginning of a journey of something, so start with a minimum, man. If you can start off and just stop your day and be grateful for your existence and appreciate your existence and just cut everything else and just be still once a day, you start there. And then work your way up. Because, family, the more that you still, the more that you can hear that way, which way to go. The more you can hear and distinguish the still small voice from the whisper. That's what we got to learn. We got to learn to distinguish the still small voice from the whisper. You know what I'm talking about? With that being said, family, I'm out of here. I see y'all tomorrow. We keep checking on Diddy. Good.
That more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember.
Wow.
I be that more you gon' remember.
Friday L, I'ma call you tomorrow.
Call my number. I be that more you gon' remember.
Yeah.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember.
The guy, yeah. Yes, me. If you a friend of the Moors, what up, Ephraim Colon?
Now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against
Ephraim Colon.
Prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and
I love you, sis. You know I do.
You tripping off trunks, you need to be tripping off that.
You know I do.
Acting like you a slave. The same.
I hope I see y'all June 8th.
Women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Have
Yes,
love, 'cause
indeed.
they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed, and syrup. Yeah, they love no yacht.
Come on through.
Gucci,
Hey.